The short season of films starring Michael Caine continues on BBC1 this evening, supported by a strong cast including James Fox, Nigel Havers and John Gielgud. The Whistleblower is a tale of political intrigue, and it's at 9:30 on BBC1.
In ancient tombs in the Americas, mirrors have been found. The mirror has power, can harness the sun, and can show us ourselves.
BBC2 presents a series of reflections on Spain and the New World. Mexican author Carlos Fuentes examines the diverse cultural heritage of Latin America and its roots in Spain.
The conquest was a disaster for the Indian populations. But a catastrophe is truly catastrophic only if nothing comes out of it. We were born, the Spanish Americans.
From empire to independence, from subjugation to revolution, two continents are reflected in one another. The Buried Mirror begins on BBC2 tomorrow at 8.
Why keep the rest of us behind unnecessarily, just because he thinks we might know something? We may not know nothing.
I am no longer prepared to fight with you lot. I've had enough of it.
The Lion's Den in 5 minutes.
If after the Easter break you've had one of those days, take heart, Bill Plimpton can top it with an even worse one in Animation Now.
New on 2, behind the scrum in Wigan.
The crowd love that! We've got the club behind us, we've got the Wigan public behind us.
We could still probably manage $250,000 if it was of any interest to you.
Behind the scrum, Up and Under starts Friday 9:30 BBC2.
You've got to score!
In just under 45 minutes, Snooker fills the frame of BBC2 half an hour earlier than scheduled, when David Vine presents the opening shots of tonight's play at the Crucible, Sheffield. That's now at 8:30. Now on BBC2, the first of a couple of programmes in which 3 teachers of differing degrees of experience open their classroom doors to illuminate their craft.
Like a demon, I'm steaming. Like a crook, I'm scheming. Top of y'all, just a color with cream in. Gritting skin with a lyric. Rhyme breaking the bone. Steal your soul with the tone of a microphone. In this game of life, I will thrive, survive. Me take a dive. Your brain is on nosedive. Lyric on strong. Even in my last hour. Snap, Jack. Cause I got the power.
I'm feeling quite anxious about what's going to happen today. I'm not really sure what is going to happen, to be quite honest with you. Most of the people who were influential in my life, either in a negative way or a positive way, were teachers. I've secretly, I think, always wanted to go into teaching. My father's a headmaster. I don't think I had the courage of my convictions at 21 to actually go into the profession. I think I needed to experience a bit more about life and what goes on outside the walls of a school. And hopefully that will help me in the next few years as I'm starting out on my teaching career. I've had enough of working in quite a cutthroat industry where people didn't seem to care about each other. Fortunately, people in school do care, and they are interested in the kind of adults that are developing and are going to be around in a few years' time.
This is 10G, a newly formed class of frisky 14-year-olds. How do you control them or inspire them? Are there any golden rules? Are teachers born or made? We're going to watch 10G being managed by 3 different teachers over the course of a term. Their form tutor will be Matthew Longdon.
I'm Mr. Longdon, and I'm a business studies teacher, and basically you're my form group for the next year. I don't know very many names, so you're going to have to help me with that one. What we have to do first of all, though, is take the register, and then we'll have a look at your timetable and get your first few lessons sorted out. Right then. Alan?
Yes, sir.
Matthew has been employed by the school to teach business studies. Looking after 10G will be an additional duty. He is to be responsible for their academic progress, spiritual well-being, and general behaviour. He will take the register twice a day and see them once a week for PSHE, a freewheeling period designed to stimulate thought and broaden minds.
Is it my bit? It's not, is the way.
Matthew has had no training for this role, so he'll have to busk it. And he's worried.
Anjana.
Oh, he looks stiff. I went, ah! I thought if you make a rude comment now, I'm going to kill you. I thought he said, oh, you want to check?
I think the big thing that worried me was just handling the behaviour, really. I didn't know how I was going to do it.
Right, I'm getting sick of this now. Can you stop all chattering on? You've been really annoying. There's no need for it. Half of you never managed to hear anything I say, Sunil, because you were always talking. I'm not in competition with you. I'm here to help you out and to do work with you. I started off a unit on drugs education and alcohol education today, which was quite ambitious with the group that I'd got. After the end of it, I thought I wish I'd never started it. What I want you to consider in your groups is what kind of attitudes have you got about drugs and your friends got about drugs and alcohol? What kind of arguments are there in favour of them? And does your relationship with people affect your views about drugs? Would you talk about it with your parents in the same way you talk about it with your best friend or whatever? Or do drugs not affect you at all? Is it not an issue? Or does it concern you?
PSHE to them is not a subject. It's not examined. It's 50 minutes with me to joke about.
So, do I have boyfriend's drug dealer?
Shut up!
So,
Jana and me, from day one, hated the sight of each other. Well, it seemed like that. And because of her strength of personality and the relationship she has with other members of the form, Sunil and Gavin and Carl, she's quite influential in terms of she can actually engineer and, if you like, instigate certain situations and scenes in the classroom.
No, toilet.
More timetables.
He's taking my dingle hopper.
Right, shut up! We're trying to do a lesson here, and I'm getting sick of it. A lot of the responses didn't go in the kind of direction I wanted. Some of them didn't really understand the nature of the work involved, and I think you need to get them into the idea of talking and discussing first before you chuck in, you know, quite difficult issues like that. What is this all about? What about this? I mean, you lot are saying about this, right? Well, how about if I told you that I've got someone who's very close to me who died because of this? How do you feel about that? What's someone in your family died of heroin?
He made his choice, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know about heroin.
Okay, so what are we talking about here then?
I don't know about heroin.
What are we talking about? Do you mind? I spent 2 seconds photocopying that for you to do that.
Oh no!
Okay, open up.
I'm not going to rip it.
Carl.
I was wishing all the time I was doing it that I hadn't even bothered. I felt they were too young and it was too difficult an issue, and I was using a kind of introduction to drugs education that you would use with sixth formers.
Do you think people take any notice of adverts? You know the adverts from the TV that are about heroin?
No one takes notice.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. This is what I reckon, yeah? They do it not only to be cool. It's like when you know how it is, like you see something that you're not allowed to do, you want to do it.
Right.
Just because it's not allowed to do it, you know you're not allowed to do it, you do it. I bet you if it was allowed, not as many people would smoke.
Do you think...
People do it just to be cool. They do it to be good, you do it to be good, you break laws.
I wasn't overjoyed with the lesson today. I think they were very noisy. It could have been a lot more controlled than that. I'm quite worried about Carl. He's been quite noisy and quite disruptive in other lessons.
Are they?
I'm very worried about Sunhill, who is incredibly bright, but I just think he gets out of hand, quite immature when he's with the other group that he sits with at the back of the class.
Anything else from over there? We should go read that book.
I've decided out of a shadow of a doubt that they're not sitting with each other because they just fuel that kind of destructive atmosphere. And that knocks on to the rest of the kids.
Sunhill. Sunhill. Yes, sir. Stop acting like a 3-year-old, for goodness sake.
It's beginning to look like if I let them, they'll walk all over me and all over each other as well. It's the beginning of the year, and if I let things slip, you know, it's going to be absolutely chaos by Christmas time, and that just can't happen.
Right, can I talk to you, please? I'm a bit concerned that you are still talking when I've asked you to be quiet times. Gavin, sit up straight and don't talk. I am going to move you. I did actually move you. I have no understanding why you have your coats on after you've just had a lesson. You take that off. I don't care if you're cold. You sort yourselves out and you bring a jumper. All right. All right. I'd like to move you. I'd also like you to be silent, first of all, because I feel like you're all restless. Thank you. And it's not nice, because I want to do some serious work with you, and I can't do that if you're in this mood. So now, can you take your shopping off the desk, please, dear? Thank you.
When you first walk into the classroom, you're conscious of you. You're conscious of failing, you're conscious of being shown up, you're conscious of getting everything wrong. Well, I'm not conscious of any of those things anymore. When I go home, I'm far more conscious of them, aware of what they should be doing, aware of what standards they should be reaching. I'm quite assured that if we have a confrontation, I'm really not going to be losing out.
I moved Carl for a purpose. I moved Joe and Sunil for a purpose. Excuse me, stand up. Stand up. Right, take that off properly. You bring a jumper to school. I speak to you as I say, you don't answer me back. Do you understand that? All right, it's not nice when you talk to people. Sit down. Right. I don't know, you two were further forward. I don't want you in the back row, I've told you about it.
I don't think Joe and Snell should sit at the back ever, so they'll come forward. Sitting at the back lets them be sort of master of all they survey, if you like.
Don't touch, smile. Life's not that bad. Paul and Mohammed, I'll just try you at the back, and Carl, I'll have you right in front of me. You'll be sitting here on your own with a desk all to yourself to be able to get your education in a nice, mature way. To the back, please, boys. Thank you. You stay here. Life, that's life. Come on.
I think you have to be quite happy in some ways with yourself. You mustn't feel too insecure in that situation, obviously, because they pick up on those sort of things. I mean, in one sense, it's a game of bluff. I mean, if 30 of them want to walk out, there's no way I can physically stop them. But they don't actually want to do that. They want you to be in control. They want you to enjoy being in there with them, I think. And they do want to learn. They don't always realise that, but I think they do.
All right, that's okay. Oh, Joe. Not a happy woman over there. All right. I might change it again and again. It's up to me what I do, and they'll have reasons for it. The main objective is so that you work properly and better than you would do if you were in control, because you're not in control. That's my job. All right?
So, I do appreciate it is quite cold. Can I suggest thermal underwear, possibly? Jumpers, maybe? Humour jokes is part of me, the way I am, I think, and I think that comes in as well. But we young people are very witty, are very amusing. They enjoy jokes. They like words. And they respond to that. If I humorously put them down, they can cope with it better in front of their friends. Sunil, you will be sitting here, or on my desk. All right, shush, calm down.
I'm supposed to be a good teacher, like, she's funny, but like, you get your work done with her.
Shush.
I don't know, everything seems to match with what she does. And like, she can tell jokes and like, you still do your work while she's telling them. So that works out good, because like, you're not just sitting down doing your work seriously, you're having a laugh as well. I mean, she can be strict and everything, which is good, but we ain't really that bad in her class for her to need to be that strict.
No calling out at all. I don't like it. Hands up, tell me what I've just drawn on the board. Good, that's more like it. Priya. A box, right. A cube. There's two different things, a box and a cube. Viral. Three-dimensional figure, fine. Don't get a flash from me, Dharmesh. Yes, go on, Gavin.
12 little lines.
12 little lines, that's fine. There's a huge danger when you come into a class, you learn the names of the loud ones, and you don't know the other people. And that implication, I mean, that can go through to the students, that they're the only valuable ones, and of course they're not. Hands up those people who see this bit coming out at you first. This here, this coming... Right, that's quite a few. Hands down. Who sees this bit coming out here? That's amazing. Right, all put your hands down, please, because we have 4 people who didn't see anything at all. Girls. I still find it intensely frustrating that I have to pick on a girl to talk to me, and the boys are so keen to put their hands up and the girls won't. I mean, I'm still considering possibly moving the girls from the back rows, because that might be part of the problem. Because they need to learn how to speak out in public, and they need to be a bit more assertive in those areas. And when I ask them questions and the girls look blank, they actually do know the answers. They've just gone into sort of like intimidated mode. The day will start. Priya. Wait a minute, I can't hear Priya. This group out of all my upper school classes anyway is the one that I have to manage the most. There are about 3 or 4 different groups and people who you need to be aware of all the time. And that takes, you know, I think a lot more skill, I suppose. You just learn how to do it. It takes time, I'm sure. Certainly would have had a lot more problems with them in my first year teaching than I do now, that's for sure.
There's a column for subjects, and then it says, what have I learned in lessons so far? How well do I feel I'm coping with the work? And what do I need to spend more time on or ask more questions about? I want you to think about your subjects and go through that and fill them in. Talk to your partners about it and try and get an idea and really think about how you're getting on.
I think actually attendance, right, I've done pretty well.
Have you got any problems?
I ain't been late
Tell me about it.
Punctuality and that. I ain't been late. Well, I ain't been late.
Can you get in here, please?
I think I've had to toughen up a bit this week as far as the kind of approach I've had with the students. When they've sorted themselves out a bit more, then maybe I can let go a bit. But at the moment, the way they're behaving, the kind of work that they're producing, does not warrant me being their best friend.
Carl, get your chair and come and sit down here. I am not keep telling you to shut up. I'm sick of this. You are late. You shouldn't be talking. Be quiet. I'm surprised you don't get worn out. Right. Alan, come and sit here. Bring your phone with you, please.
You know, school.
Everyone all right with what they're doing? Yeah?
I've just had reports after report of other teachers. They obviously come to me because I'm the form tutor, and I am expected to do something about it.
I've been having a lot of complaints about you. Of various teachers have come to me and said they're upset about the way you've been carrying on. There was an incident in PE yesterday that I've heard about, and I do get to hear about it. You see, with me, I've not really had any major problems.
Yeah, what do you mean an incident in PE?
Well, yesterday there was an incident in PE, and you punched somebody and things like that.
smash someone?
That's what I've been told. Anyway, you...
Oh, yeah, that must be Zuba.
Yes, it was Zuba.
I was feeling that because I was their form tutor, they represented me.
I know, but are you being disruptive?
Not really.
Not really. No more than normal.
Yeah. No, it's like the whole class, like someone's taking a mickey out of me today and I got made to write lines for it.
It was driving me mad because I was constantly getting these kind of, oh, Carl in your form, or Joanna and Sunil as well.
You're putting out some good work sometimes. I mean, you just calm down a bit. You're a really lively guy, that's fine, there's no problem with that, but, you know...
I was blaming myself for it and sort of feeling, is it me? Is it because I haven't got them in control as a form? Is that why this is all going on, you know? Perhaps I've not done enough work with them, I don't know.
Is someone smoking? I can smell smoke. Is someone lighting matches? If someone is, they better tell me. It is dangerous if someone is doing that. Michelle, have you been lighting matches? Right, well, we will stay in this room until somebody tells me. And if necessary, I will ring every one of your parents and tell them you're staying behind if someone doesn't own up, because I can smell matches. Someone has been striking matches. There is no argument in it. Quiet! Now! Every single one of you will stay here until I find out. It is a fire hazard and you are not supposed to be carrying matches. So somebody better own up. There's no argument. Start thinking about it. Now. Sunhill.
Ellen, go for it.
We can quite do without you kicking your bit in. Be quiet.
I started it and I put myself in it and I had all the time running through my mind this thought that I won't let them win, they're not going to win. But I knew that everything I was doing was so counterproductive.
You will own up because you'll be in every single night for the rest of the week and the next week, whoever's on it. Don't keep arguing with me.
It just got louder and louder and noisier and noisier. We had a competition.
Form tutor.
Do you really think Priya and Andrew are going to have matches on them? Yes. Well, they're not.
No, for a minute. Who do you really think? We don't have matches on us. Give it down.
We was just all sitting here doing our work, and then all of a sudden he goes, someone lit a match. You can smell it. No one could smell it. I mean, there's a science lab down there, so it could have been in there. So, I mean, no one smelt a match. I mean, he goes, it's from the back. Well, we were the only ones up the back, apart from the ones over there, and they wouldn't have done that. So, everyone's going to get the blame, I suppose.
Don't know why you're putting your files away, or why you're putting your equipment away, because none of you are going anywhere. I've told you that already.
I mean, I didn't know, even though I was sitting right under his nose, I didn't know what he was talking about. And I was like going, you know, what are you talking about? Why are we getting kept in? And then, I don't know, I heard something about matches, so I thought, it can't be us, because like, we don't smoke. All of us are saying, we don't smoke, we ain't got matches on us. So he was a bit too hard about it.
Right, quiet. I want silence from all of you, because I've got something to say. Some of you have got things to do, and you need to go. Fair enough, I understand that. So, what I'm going to do is, every single night next week, you come here after school and there's detention for every single one of you. I'm sending letters home to your parents tomorrow, and all of you will come and sit in this room every single night next week until I find out what is going on, and until you decide that you are going to start showing me a bit of decency. So letters go out tomorrow, and you're here every single night after school, all of you.
I mean, I was getting to respect him and stuff, yeah? You know, he was getting on our side. But he just came out really angry and stuff and told us that we had detention every day of the week. He just wasn't getting good results. I didn't think so. We were all angry, all of us really vexed.
I just kept thinking, I'm not having this. There's no need for it.
No, you mustn't put up with them being rude to you. One of the things to do would be to call down the senior teacher and get someone to sit in with you. I mean, I think you don't want to put them in detention all next week.
Why not?
I personally, right, what I would have done, I would have sort of said, if someone, no, it doesn't matter, you can still change your mind and not lose face.
Yeah.
You say, look, I got very annoyed yesterday, you really wound me up, and that's not going to happen again, but I'm very sad that someone did that, and I would like one of you to come and tell me, please, so that we can sort out if there's someone who's irresponsible. You know, just, I don't want it again. I'm not going to put you on detention because I do realise it's not most of you. However, those people who are being a pain, I suggest you stop. Leave it, fine, off. Yeah, I mean, it's no big thing.
No, well, it just seemed like it at the time it was all going...
No one climbed out the window and down the drain pipe.
No, there's none of that.
No one threw a chair.
No.
No one took your stuff and chucked it out the window for you.
No.
I don't know what your problem is. I'm going to a meeting. Before I get sacked.
Girls, can two of you sit over here, please? And two of you stay at the back where you were. Thank you.
I thought a lot about it last night and decided that I was going to go in and change the seating positions of all the students so that, you know, I was minimising the kind of distraction and disturbance they could cause.
Can you two sit back there where the two girls are? So where am I supposed to sit, sir? Sit back there. Cole, can you sit at that table, please? Sit behind. Who's in charge? There. Right, can you say something? I was really angry yesterday and I was in a bad mood for a lot of reasons and I took it out on a lot of you. I will find out who did whatever they did with the matches yesterday in the class and I'm not happy about it. From now on, I want you sitting in these seats because I am no longer prepared to fight with you lot. I've had enough of it. I'm not doing it. I haven't got time. I've got a lot of work to do. I'm new to the school and I am not doing this every time I see you. I am not going to try and keep you in check all the time. So, from now on, any incident, you go straight to Miss Jordan. I am not dealing with it anymore. I have washed my hands with you, all of you, and I mean it. Do you want to sit there?
I still wanted them to do some time in detention for me, so I decided that I would do that for 2 nights.
For your information, detentions, I've said to everybody, they can either come tonight and tomorrow night for 10 minutes, or they can come next week. I don't mind when you come, as long as you do 2 nights of 10 minutes.
What is that?
So you either do Thursday or Friday or Monday.
What is that going to prove?
What is what's going to prove?
For 10 minutes.
I'm not trying to prove anything.
Yeah, it's like we had to pick what day we got in detention on, and like that was just pretty easy for us, you know. He's just back down on his word. Yeah, I was angry at him for being really strict, and then I got angry at him for being really weak in the morning, telling us he had 10-minute detention every day. That's pretty pathetic. I thought so anyway.
Right, no argument in it. If you don't do it with me, you'll go and do it with another teacher. Will you do it with Miss Jordan then, Alan? No, there's no about it.
Friday and Monday.
If you want to.
I've got to be at work early.
I know you've got to.
I would like to have backed down completely and not done that, but I didn't think I was in a position to. I think I needed to completely reassert myself again.
That's the end of that now. Right, is there something wrong, Alan? Is there something wrong? Right, well, you've got to see me anyway, and you have to see Miss Jordan and Miss Williams, because we've got a few problems we need to sort out, so...
Alan is, this morning, completely not doing anything that he's told to do. I mean, at the best of times, he's quite difficult, but I actually like the guy quite a lot, and I don't want to upset him or anything, but, you know, I asked him to come to a detention. He said, "You're not wasting my time." Well, you know, I find it unbelievable that you can actually just turn around and say that to me.
Alan has just said there's no way he's coming to detention, he's not wasting his time, and blah, blah, blah. His file as well is just full of graffiti yesterday.
Right, I was going to see Alan anyway, because I gather he was a problem in his language lesson.
Yeah, there's very little work in his file. There's no evidence that he's really knuckling down in any way. And it needs somebody else to sort it out.
Now, you're a big boy now. How old are you?
15.
15. Old enough to know right from wrong. Old enough to know when you muck about and when you don't. So therefore, if other people muck about, Alan knows what's required of Alan. Now, I teach you. I had to look at you a couple of times in the lesson. Why?
For mucking about.
For mucking about. Was anybody else in the room mucking about at that time?
That was me at that time.
And this business of yesterday afternoon and Mr. Longdon wanting everybody to come back, then I think, tell me what's the adult thing to do in a situation like that?
I don't know, my view is just, I'm just cheesed off with it because I don't find that fair. I think that if like someone at the back row had struck, which they did, struck the match, then they should keep the back row behind. Why keep the rest of us behind unnecessarily? Just because he thinks we might know something. We may not know nothing.
Yes, I agree with that. But perhaps he's looking at the form group and trying to get a form identity. And that's very important, that as a group of young people in that form, you actually take responsibility for each other.
But if we don't know who done it, there's no need to keep us all in, is there?
Yes.
And if that person ain't going to own up to doing it, is he?
Yes, I can understand what you're saying, Alan. But the responsible way of going about things isn't to shriek at the teacher, I ain't coming to detention, is it? What's the responsible thing to do?
To go to it. To go to it.
To go to it, or what's the other thing you do?
See the teacher.
You see the teacher privately and do what?
And tell him that you're not going to it.
Or you discuss it. Or you come and see me, or you see somebody else. And we'll have no more of this nonsense, will we? Not in maths, not in language, not in your form period, not in science, not in English, not in any of your subjects.
But if I did say, like a couple of other kids that said they ain't coming back this evening, what would be the views if I said I wasn't going to go anyway?
Because that's disobedience, Alan. You think about it. And part of the expectations of the school is that you don't disobey teachers. Go and borrow one. See if you can borrow one. Don't expect to come in and find that sort of noise. Not when you've got an ongoing piece of work. Can you get the books out for me, please, Anita?
She's like got control over us. She's really like strong, and she's got a real grip on people.
Sunil and Joanna, I think it's getting to the stage where I might have to split you up. I did say right at the beginning of term, you sat where you like as long as I thought it was working. I'm getting to the stage where I'm doubting whether it's working. Now the decision is yours. I don't want you talking when I'm talking to you either. It's a matter of experience. I've been doing it for a long time. Perhaps it's a matter of age. As you get older, you perhaps mellow, and what you saw as disruptive 10 years ago now seems very mildly disruptive, because you don't feel as threatened as you get older and more confident with what you're doing. Now let's go on to page 83, chapter 9. I had never known anything like it. One moment I was contentedly, unhurriedly binding and propping up sheaves. The next, it was as if something had hit me physically inside my head. My approach in the classroom is that I expect to get the best out of every child, so that those children who are weaker or more timid actually feel safe. I was obeying it in a daze. It therefore means that I feel I've got to create the climate in my classroom whereby this can be achieved. I kept on running. I didn't know why, except that it was urgent. How does that apply to you? Do you feel like that sometimes?
Yeah.
Go on, tell me about it.
It's like what someone said, right? It's like, it really depresses you, like, you think, like, you know, you feel trapped. Like when your parents say, don't do this, don't do that, you really want to try it out, right? But it's like you're in a cage, you want to get out and try it, but you can't. So it's like, it seems unfair, it's so depressing, like.
You're nodding.
Yes.
You feel like that as well?
Yeah. Yes.
A lot.
A lot of them are like that. If their parents say something, they'll do it to spite them. If it's not just to try it out, they'll do it to spite them. It's like when my mum says don't do things, I still won't do it.
What happens when she finds out?
She knows I'll do it. She knows I will, so she just waits for me to get caught. And then she'll say something. She'll say, oh, well, I told you. I say, oh, you told me.
Do you think that sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, your parents are correcting what they're saying? Yeah. They always are. Always. Believe me. Go on, Gavin.
We only deal with like minor problems, you know, and they, you know, parents like know how to sort it out when like children don't, you know. So children think that parents know everything, but they don't.
You get no training to be a parent, believe you me. It's the only job for which nobody trains you, and it's a job that lasts a lifetime. I'm sure my mum still worries over me now. Go on.
I want to be like my mum.
You want to be like your mum, so that means that mum's not too bad, maybe.
No, she's understanding even though
so she's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a compliment, because Joanna's actually saying, I want to be like my mum. Although I don't agree.
Get respect. If they give respect, they've actually got to value the students and treat the students in the way they would want to be treated, so that you will see in the classroom, I am polite to the students and I expect the same thing back from them. And that actually keeps the atmosphere right in the classroom. Most teachers can learn to do this and can be helped by more senior colleagues or more experienced colleagues or whatever, working alongside them. But sometimes the system doesn't permit this, so probationers are thrown in at the deep end.
What they're doing with each other, but there's been a lot of, you know, sort of aggro going on, and just the mix of students in the form is also really difficult. They're causing a lot of problems. I've had them all in detention last week because someone was striking matches in one of my PSHE lessons.
I think a bit lively.
I mean, I've looked at it and thought, you know, let's try new strategies and things, but even then, things keep cropping up. You think you're okay for 5 minutes, and then, you know, on Friday I had another incident with them throwing cans of Coke at each other, and you know, it was not satisfactory. Michelle threw Coca-Cola on a little boy's head, and then Carl threw it over her. Carl, any opportunity to disrupt or whip something up, he'll do it. And there's been a lot of sort of like pointing and exchanges going on, which I've not heard because, you know, you can't listen to everything they say.
What's going on? No, it's not nothing is going on. The rest of you, shut up. What is going on? I'm waiting, Michelle.
I'm getting a lot of problems with Michelle. I'm worried about her for several reasons. I think she's been picked on quite a lot, but she keeps being late for school. She's not getting on well with Carl, or Joanna, or Sunil, or other members of the form, and it needs to be looked at.
It doesn't happen in this classroom. I will not tolerate it.
His main job has got to be to sort out his classroom preparation and everything for the teaching of his subject, and the tutorial work, which is I think not really appropriate for a probationer because he's not got the background to do it.
Oh no, Matthew's very keen to do it.
I know he is.
Matthew is very keen to do it because
he needs help.
He needs it, yes, but he's up above normal. As I say, we've got to try to fine line between giving him the support and not undermining his confidence, because that's the other thing that can happen. You know, he can think, well, I am not doing a good job, and I don't really want him to get that impression. I will go into that group tomorrow first thing during registration. I mean, I'll make a seating plan and say to Matthew, right, this is where they sit. And just, and Giles sits with Gavin over there.
With Gavin.
that looks a lot better than the way they were.
I know.
Because we're still not happy with some of you lot, as you might have guessed. And we are determined that we are going to get it right.